Today, we have a lecture, a very introduction lecture to the course that is called How to Become a Competitive Software Tester. And together with me today, Sandy Smith. Sandy, are you here with us?
Yes, hello.
Hi. Sandy is our mentor that will give you lectures about the databases. And I hope everybody will be very glad to hear from her about the AR diagrams, about the SQL. But today we will talk together with Sandy about how to become a competitive software tester. Okay, so here is the plan. Here is the agenda for today's lecture. We will start from the discussion, what is the difference between a regular QA and a software engineer in test? So is there any difference, and what knowledge should you have to have a proud name of software engineer in test? And then we absolutely logically we'll talk about why do we pay so much attention to fundamental IT disciplines in our course. And from time to time, we will mention your salary as a regular QA and as a professional software engineer specialist. All the salary data is taken from open sources from Indeed and Glassdoor and some other sources, some other sites. But I think Sandy will be so kind to add something from her own experience in the US. And maybe she will correct me from time to time if my impression about salaries will be not so, right from her point of view. Okay, so this is the agenda. And we will start from what is the difference between a regular newcomer QA and a software engineer in test. So some myths about QA work. So I think when you all just started to think about the QA career, you had some more or less typical impression about what the job is about. And some of people who come to me with their intention to be a QA, to the career orientation, career consulting, they tell me that QE is a very, routine job, maybe from time to time some boring job. And why people think so about a profession of a QA? Because of some regular QA jobs that they are hearing about constantly. That QA job is about testing the regression. What does it mean? It means that you have some set of test cases and somebody wrote this set of test cases for you, or maybe you did it yourself before. But anyway, now you have some very long list of test cases that you should do today and tomorrow and the after tomorrow and every day. And of course, this job is very routine, and that set of test cases is typically connected with the UI only. So you are sitting and you are pressing some buttons on the UI, and you do this job every day. And you do the same test cases every day. And of course, this type of job is very boring. you accept this, you of course write some test documentation, but this test documentation could be surface as well, because your job is connected only with the UI, and your test documentation is connected with the UI as well, and you are writing again and again the same test cases about how to press buttons on the UI, and what defects do you expect pressing buttons from the UI? And what does it mean for you, and what does it mean for your customers? It means that you provide a surface quality, because as we will tell a bit later, the application is not only the UI, but also a lot of things inside the water, like iceberg has. But if your job is connected only with the UI and your test documentation is connected with only the UI, the quality of your testing and the end quality of the products that you are testing will be surface as well. So this is the myth about how the regular QA job looks like. But if you can do only this job, and of course you can even skip the courses to be ready to do this job, because you all, I think, graduated from school, and you all can read and you can write. And the only thing that you should be able to do, except that, is to understand how the test case looks like, how the UI looks like, and how the test documentation, some defect reports look like. But what does it mean for irregular QAs? For that typical profession, specialists that this myth is based on. It means routine tasks. It means a high dependency from the other team members, unfortunately, because if you can do only some tasks connected with the UI, and the only thing that you are able to do is to write some simple test documentation, you dependent on the other team members. For example, if you see something strange, if you see some strange behavior when you are testing the software, it means for you that you should run to some other specialist in the team and to ask questions every time. You should run to developers, you should run to DevOps, maybe to project managers, maybe to some other specialists. And your work will be not very fun and not very interesting, because all the job is to do the routine tasks and to ask developers about some complicated things from time to time. And of course, you understand that the salary for such a job couldn't be very high. My statistics from the US sites, job sites, is this. So $60,000 a year, American dollars. And now I want to ask Sandy, what do you think about this, about all that I already mentioned, and about the salary? Is it true for the American market or not?
Absolutely. Starting out as a new QA, you're probably not going to make $60,000 a year. It's probably going to be more like 40 to 50,000. And that's because you just don't have a lot of experience. But as you work along in your QA field, the more initiative that you take to ask a lot of questions of the people that you work with, to have a lot of notes, to study on your own, the higher salary you're going to be able to collect. Another problem with relying on other team members, so you're not going to have the knowledge in the beginning, but you will be able to gain that knowledge. And a lot of times when you're trying to do something and you ask your team member, they're so busy doing their job, they are not going to have time to answer your question. And so sometimes you can just be stuck sitting around waiting for them to get back to you, which can be very frustrating. So the more that you can ask questions and build knowledge on your own, the more valuable of a team player you're going to be, and the more they're going to give you raises.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so to sum up everything that I told, you have, not you as our students, but that regular, hypothetical regular QA has a low level of knowledge based on the routine tasks, and that's all. And of course, it produces low expectations from the customers and from all the team members, because everybody knows that this QA can only do a very simple job. And of course, as the QA can do only a very simple job, it doesn't make sense to pay much for this job. So this QA will have a low salary. And this is a circle: low salary, low QA level, low expectations, and again and again. And as you can guess, this is not very good. Okay, to sum up, what should a regular QA know? Test design basics. Basics means equivalence classes partitioning and boundary values analysis. And unfortunately, even middle QAs know only these two techniques of test design: equivalence classes and boundary values, and that's all. And for doing that routine tasks, and even to write some simple test documentation, some simple test cases, it is really enough. But your salary would not be higher than this number. Test documentation, of course. How to create a good test case and how to create a good test report. That's all. And some agile principles. Because even if you do a simple job, you are a part of a team anyway, and you should be able to work with a team, to work within sprints, to work within agile environment. But again, that knowledge enough for being a regular QA with this salary a year. But what to do? Who is a competitive QA with a good salary? Because the salary that I mentioned above, it is not enough, I think. Maybe for the first job only, but you will not do your first job till your retirement. So what is that competitive QA? He or she maybe investigates a software and understands how does it work, not only from the UI perspective, but also from the perspective of all the levels of the application. The next point is very, very important, I think. This competitive QA knows not only tools, but technologies. And if you have ever assessed some QA's CVs, resumes, you probably saw that a lot of people love to add the more tools to the CV, the better. So I know everything. I can work in Microsoft Office, and I know Postman, I know Jira, I know, I don't know, some pairwise tool, I know this tool, I know that tool. But guys, it doesn't matter how many tools do you know. The important thing is to understand the technology and why this technology is applied here. And if we are talking about a tool, it really doesn't matter, because if you can work with one tool, you will be able to work with another one, similar tool, based on the same technology. If you know the technology, of course, you will be able to work with it in, I think, 2 days maximum. So it doesn't matter. From my point of view as an interviewer, how many tools did you mention in your CV? So this competitive QE should know not only tools, but technologies. Of course, this competitive QE should be able to self-educate anytime. Because, okay, you now are competitive, but there are a lot of new technologies, there are a lot of new techniques, new approaches. And if you know something today, it doesn't mean that you will be competitive in a year, in 2 years, and so on. So if you came to IT, if you came to QE, your constant job from this time is to learn, is to know more and more things. And it doesn't matter if you are a junior or you are a senior right now. You should learn. And readiness to be a proactive specialist. Because in IT, people who are, you know, sitting during the whole day and waiting for some tasks and waiting for a boss who can come and give some new task, they are not considered as you know, good specialists. A good specialist should be a proactive specialist, to find new tasks, to learn new technology, to participate in new projects, to you know, find new goals for him or herself. So don't wait to a boss, do something proactively. And the salary here is more funny, I think, yeah, more interesting. It is from 100,000 a year if you have all that skills mentioned. And my another question to Sandy, what do you think about, first about the salary, and the second about all that items listed here?
That's absolutely true. It's been true in my career and a lot of other QAs that I know. The more technologies that I understood, the higher my pay was, the more versatile I could be, the wider choice I had of what kind of jobs that I could get. And so you can even go above $100,000 a year because automation is a huge thing that is becoming more and more important in testing. And so if you can get your automation chops underneath you, then you could even go higher than 100,000.
Thanks, Andy. Okay. Guys, maybe you have questions about everything that we have now. Maybe you have questions to send it to me. Please feel free to ask.
I have a question.
Okay, Olga.
So you should prove to your worker, so your company, that you are able to do a lot of work and you know technologies and you know all the new technologies, and how you should prove the knowledges. How you should prove that you are growing up. Is it only in your work, or you should have some certificates and show it to your boss?
Mm-hmm.
I found that employers don't really, especially in IT, employers don't really care about certificates.
Mm-hmm.
If you, and the way that you tell them that you know about it, so let's say you have a job, you start a job as a QA,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing just UI testing, but on your own, you're going and learning Java and Selenium so you can do automation.
Uh-huh.
So you go to your boss and you say, look, I've been doing this on my own and I feel like I can add to the team, some value to the team. Give me a chance and I'll show you what I can do.
Mm-hmm. So that's not very difficult. It sounds not very difficult. But no, in fact,
it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of your time.
Yes, of course.
And also another way to gain that knowledge is by telling your coworkers who know more than you, look, I'm hungry to learn and I will help you in your job any way I can. So can I stand over your shoulder and see what you're doing and what will you teach me? And I'm hungry as much as I can.
Okay. So this is a very interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And the more that you learn and you can tell them, the more you teach me, the more I can take off your plate so that it makes your job easier.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I can add a bit from my experience. From my experience, I had another way. How can we show the team and your boss that you learned new technologies? Because I was a manager of a team and I was a manager of some co-workers. We had a practice of performance reviews every half a year. And on the current performance review, we are thinking about the goals for the next period. And if a person tells that, yes, I would like to learn a new technology during this half a year, because as Sandy said, I'm hungry for learning, and I'm just I want just to be more competitive inside the team and inside the project and inside the company, and I want to learn a new technology. Okay, so your boss say that, okay, learn this new technology, this is your goal. This goal is not connected to the project that you're working on right now, but you can learn in your free time, or you can take some courses inside the company if it is possible. And in half a year, you could either show me a certificate. It is possible. So it is not an important thing, but it is possible. Or you could show that you learn this technology some other way. You could do a pet project, for example, or you could do a tech talk to your team. So somebody learned technology and somebody has a tech talk for all the team.
Or you can improve your work process.
Yes. Or you can improve your work process if this technology could be applied to your work process, if it is possible. If this technology cannot be connected with your current job, you could demonstrate your knowledge some other way.
Okay.
And after it, this technology is added to some, file with your knowledge, because everybody has some special, skills tree or something with all the technologies and skills and abilities listed. And this technology is added there. And if inside the company it will be some new project with this technology, you could be invited. Yes, invited to this project, because now you demonstrated that you know this technology.
Book of the spell, write a new spell.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So it's more clear now. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, good. Okay. So a bit about investigating software and understanding how does it work, not only from the UI level. I love this picture very much. About a year ago, I waked up at night and understood that the software very much looks like an iceberg, because everybody can see the peak of the iceberg above the water, but nobody except some scientists, except some specialists, cannot see the part above the water. And the same with the application. Any application has users, a lot of users, that can see only the UI. And that's all. The UI, some buttons, some fields, some errors, maybe on the UI, but they cannot understand, and they don't want to understand what is above the water, what is inside the application. And inside the application, we have the most interesting part: the API, the network integration, the databases, the integration with other applications. And I think this is the most interesting thing. Operating system where we installed this application, and other environment, configuration, maybe some containers, all that stuff. And if we are talking about a QE job, about 10% defects only are on the UI level. And if you see that error message on the UI, it doesn't mean that the root cause is on the UI as well, because only 10% of defects on the UI level. The other 90% defects are not on the UI level. They are connected with API, network, databases, integration, operating system, and so on and so on. And what is the difference here between a regular QA that we already mentioned and this professional QE with $100,000 a year? This professional QE can investigate the software and can find the root cause of a problem. So not only write some defect report for developers that, oh, guys, I have some message on the UI. The message is here. This is my defect report. please investigate yourself too. But really, it is not a job of developers to investigate the root cause of a problem, because we have QEs for this. And if a QE can investigate this problem, this is a professional QE. And logically, we are going now to the next part of our lecture. Why do we pay so much attention to technical disciplines in our course? Databases. We start in several days from the databases module. Almost all jobs, again, from my statistics, from Indeed, from Glassdoor, from dice.com, include knowledge of SQL. This is a special language for the communication with databases, for gathering the information, for updating the information, for deleting the information, for preparing the test data for you as QAs. And as you can see, the databases are above the water. And since we have Sandy with us, maybe Sandy will tell us a couple of words about this very interesting module.
So databases are, I feel like they're kind of the heart of most software. I can't think of any software that I've ever worked on that did not have database on some level. And databases are used so that you can store the data and be able to access and retrieve that data very quickly and not maybe easy, but not too hard. There are databases that are on large mainframes that are like millions and millions of records. There are databases that are on servers that can be huge databases also. There's databases that are on the PC, like Access Database, which is a Microsoft one. Most of these are relational databases. They can, and I've worked on applications where there were 3 different databases, one on the mainframe, one on the server, and one on the PC, and they all work together. So learning SQL to be able to maintain those databases as far as like update them and retrieve information from them, the better you are at that, the more successful you're going to be at your job. And they even have jobs where your only tasks are to make sure that the databases work correctly. And that's where, you know, well, like with SQL, you know the language to retrieve the information and to update it. But if you are a database expert, you know how that database works and how to implement updates and install new things for it. So, and that you can make even more money doing that than you can as a QA. So the more that you know about databases and the more proficient you become with SQL, the more valuable you're going to be to that your employer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, maybe you have questions to Sandy regarding this module.
I have one.
Well done.
What database we will know on this course? So MS SQL or MySQL? I think it will be not Oracle, definitely.
Yeah. MySQL.
MySQL. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. And no SQL databases.
We don't have that. We're using MySQL.
Just okay. Okay. Thank you.
You will have NoSQL database on the internship, actually.
Okay.
Excellent. How we should install the program, the server? Is it for free, or we should use your servers?
You should use
Yeah,
our servers, our
Mhm.
sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
When you will have the access, you
Mhm.
will have the access to the databases.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that it is better to install to your computer is the tool, the database tool, the Beaver that we use on the course. It could be used from the sandbox as well, but it is pretty much faster to have it on your computer. But it is very, very simple, and the installation is very similar,
It's
like
simple tool.
any other Windows application or Mac application.
Okay.
So you could use it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. What about the other modules? We have only Sandy today, so I will speak from interests of other mentors, including me. And now I would like to talk about API and Web UI module of our course. They are, as you can see, API is above the water, and the Web UI is on the peak of the iceberg, but anyway, 10% defects on the UI level still. And what is it about? Is it not about the tools? Because you could have the information from other courses that we will learn Postman, we will learn sniffers, we will learn some other tools, we will learn, I don't know, Swagger. But this is not the most important thing. Because yes, we will learn Swagger and sniffers and Postman as well. But again, this is not about the technology. This is just about how to use the technology, how to take some convenient tool and to apply your knowledge there. Because if we are talking about some backend requests, they could be done not only from Postman. They, to be honest, could be done just from a browser, because your Chrome browser have a lot of extensions, add-ons, and even just online interfaces to run your requests. And here, in these modules, we will talk about what is API principally, what is REST principally, or GraphQL. Why do we need it? What error codes can we have? What is the technology? What is the difference between HTTP and REST? What is the principal difference? And the same about the Web UI. So, okay, yes, we will show you dev tools, we will show you some CSS, we will show you some styles, okay, but we will talk about the technology, about why do we have that Web UI? What is the difference between different approaches? What is the integration between Web UI and API? And how to understand that this integration is broken right now. So tools, yes, tools are included to the course, of course, because you cannot do something without tools. But the main thing here is technologies. Okay. Any questions about this particular module? No questions. Okay. Sandy, did you have API testing, Web UI testing in your career? I know
Oh,
the
yeah.
answer, of course.
Yes, yes.
Maybe you could tell something about it. Well,
Yes, any software with any kind of complexity is going to have APIs because that's a more efficient, cost-effective way to write code rather than having it all in one program. So you're always going to have modules like that especially if you're interfacing with not just your application, but other teams' applications that you need to trade data back and forth. So there's always going to be APIs, and there's different tools that you can use to test those. And of course, any kind of web page you're going to have your web UI and know how that works and know how to test that. Yeah, so those are all big parts of most software these days.
okay, thanks. Olga, maybe you have questions.
I'm still afraid of the word API because I'm still afraid of all this technology. I read about it, but it's still not very clear for me.
Don't be afraid. API
So,
is like a language.
oh my God, this is more scary.
Sorry. Okay, this is
Well,
this is
I
like,
just want- Can I say something to that?
Yeah,
So I'm helping to write textbooks for all the information that you're going to get in this course. And starting out, it can feel so overwhelming because there's so many pieces that you have to know, that you have to fit together in order to do a really good job. Just remember, you don't have to know all of it today. Like you'll learn a piece of it today and you'll learn a piece of it later. And the more you work with it, the easier it's going to be to know how they fit together. And so you'll have time and we're going to help you like put all that together.
This is the only relief, This is
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Okay, we all will be near you during the whole course, so you could ask us questions anytime. And instead being scary, please come to mentors and ask questions, and maybe it will help.
And we are all very invested in you being successful. We have had successful careers and we want to pass the baton to the younger generation. And so if you are successful, that makes me happy. So I'm going to do whatever I can to help you be successful.
Oh, what a wonderful words. Thank you.
Another, sorry, Olga. Another words here, Linux and networks. You can see them on the left side of the slide. Operating system and other environment and network. So it is about the complex part of QA job, but it is about being competitive, actually. And it is about a good salary. So if you have Linux in your profile, in your CV, your salary is up drastically. And yeah, and it is above actually 100,000 a year. And what can I say here? It is not so scary, actually. Yeah, it is very logical and it is very interesting, and it is very how to say, IT-like. So if your brain now is humanitarian, or you think that you are some not technical person, you will be a technical person after learning all that, and you will be able to understand the operating system processes, not only the software, but the software. It is not in the air. It is not flying. somewhere, you know. It is installed to the operating system, and it is integrated with the internet, with other applications, by
And
a
with the
network.
hardware, with the hardware,
And
hardware,
yes,
and all these
absolutely.
drivers and all these processes and all this.
Yes, absolutely. And to understand where is the root cause of the defect, in the software or maybe in the network, maybe all that stuff is going on, all that, you know, terrible things that are going on with your application right now, it is about the network. And the only thing that you should do is to write a defect to, you know, maybe system administrators or DevOps team with the description what does happen right now. And it is not a time-consuming process. It will be easier for you, yes, then to understand what does it happen with the software. And we put this module to the end of the course, as you already know, because knowing all the stuff that I mentioned above is the good, you know, basics for understanding Linux and networks. And it is not about how to use the command line, how to write some commands, how to, you know, ping the networks or ping some server. It is about the processes inside the operating system.
Mm-hmm. How to files and users. And
yes, about the permissions, about the processes, about the services, about how to read logs of the application, because yes, it could be a situation when you have some special tool for reading logs, but
not always.
Not always, yes,
not always.
absolutely, not always. From time to time, your logs could be
hidden inside
in raw format somewhere on the server, and to read them, you should go to the server. Yes, like that. Yes, absolutely, like that. You should go to the server and to read there, and it is impossible to have the logs some other way. So you will be able to do it. And even if your future job is with such raw logs, with Linux, with some requirements to you to understand the networks, it could be your first job, actually, because you will know all that. And my question to Sandy, what do you think about it? Did you meet something like network troubleshooting in your career?
Yeah, yes. I remember very clearly, I didn't know much. I worked for probably 30 years before I knew about Linux and worked with that. And at the job, I would have to ask the developers to do something for me. And of course they were busy, and it was just irritating to have to ask somebody else to do something. And so I had to beg him to teach me Linux, because he was afraid that I would mess up something and then he would have to go after me and fix it. But after he taught me what I needed to know to do my job, he was so grateful that I knew that, because it took the onus off of him. Yeah, that everybody works together so that we can all get the job done in the most efficient way possible.
Thanks, Sandy. And I could tell a story about from my career. I was a very young girl. I was a junior QA, and it was a very interesting project, my first project. And I remember that developers came to me and asked me to do something. I don't remember exactly what should I do, but something from the command line, something on Linux, something on the server. And I was very scared actually, because it was absolutely unknown thing for me. I just found my job. Okay, it was not the first job, it was my second job, but my first job was a technical writer, so we could skip it. My first QA job. And I read some books, and I tried to do something with this, and I run every hour. I run to the developers and ask some questions. And you are lucky, actually, because you will know all that before your first job. So don't be afraid, actually. Questions here, maybe.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, speaking about the Sandy experience about working with Linux, you told us that the developer teach you how to work with Linux, but I want to know how deeply you know Linux. I mean, from the side of quality assurance engineer. I mean, because I'm asking if are we going to know something about the kernels, something about differences between different distributions of Linux and so on.
Yes, in the Linux class, you will, Feder is the one that teaches that, and he goes into quite a bit of detail. So you're going to learn a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
if we are speaking about kernel, no, we didn't include the kernel knowledge to the course. But if you are a very interested person and you are interested in kernel, please feel free to ask, and we will find some additional literature for
Okay,
you.
thank you. So I guess the biggest part is going to be about the terminal itself and the command line, yeah?
Yeah, terminal, the command line, and permissions, and the users and groups, and services and daemons,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, but we tried to make it, you know, in the middle between how to patch kernel and some very simple commands. So it is something in the middle. And if we are talking about your knowledge about your homework, as always, you will have the easy homework, you will have the hard homework. And if the hard homework is not enough for you, so again, please feel free to ask, and we will create a special homework for you to make it even more competitive.
Sounds like the sky is the limit, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Okay. And actually, I think the most interesting module in the course, because it is unique, absolutely unique. I saw the courses with of course, the QA knowledge, QA modules. I saw even the courses with Linux and networks, but I didn't see the courses with this troubleshooting module. Because we once, upon a time, we had some meeting with our team, and we thought about how to combine the knowledge of API, databases, network, and Linux together, and how to show our students why they should know all that, and to show them some examples of investigating the defects, of looking for the root cause of defects. And we decided to add only 3 lectures here, but 3 lectures that combine all that knowledge together. Databases, API, network, Linux, and all this stuff. And during that 3 lectures, you will train how to find the root causes of defects. And you will train some, typical problems with database, typical problems with networks. You will corrupt your application during these lectures. So it is safe because we have the sandbox and everybody has own, virtual machine in the sandbox. And the lectures there are like we corrupt something, and then we see how does it look like from the application perspective. And all that knowledge are here. And that's why I marked the integration. And I see that we have one question in the chat.
No, that was about the timer I'm seeing in the right corner of my monitor, so never mind. Just go ahead.
Yeah, no, we have no limit in Doom. Okay. And what about the regular QA knowledge? Because we mentioned it in the beginning of the lecture. And of course, we are QAs, we are not DevOps, we are not system administrators, we are not developers. So we should have this knowledge about the test design, about test documentation, about Agile. But since our course is not simple, since we try to make you competitive after this course, we added some new, maybe extra knowledge here as well. If we are talking about test design module, I told you in the beginning of the lecture that the only test design methods that a regular QA typically knows is equivalence classes and boundary values. They are very simple indeed. And of course, they are in the course. We cannot live without them because they are, basic. But we added more test design methods. And we added the knowledge and the skills, of course, the practice, how to combine test design methods with each other. And how to take that basic equivalence classes and boundary values and how to go ahead with it. How to combine them with the other more interesting, more complex methods. And how to cover your application with test cases in the most optimal way. Not like we take everything, we write test cases for everything, and we are happy. No, not even close. All the test design methods, maybe not all, because we have a lot of very rare used methods, but a lot of test design methods in the course. Test documentation and Agile. Sandy, this is your turn because you will be responsible for both of that modules.
Test documentation is extremely important. I've gotten jobs where I went to work somewhere and they said, oh, we want you to test this. And I think, okay, I can do that. And then I ask them, how is this supposed to work? Oh, well, we really don't have documentation for that. Here, let me spend hours and hours with you telling you how this is supposed to work. And then they don't actually have test cases for it. It can cause havoc and be utter chaos if you do not have test documentation. Because if you've never done testing, from the outside looking in, it looks simple because you go click buttons on a user interface and you check the database updates, but it can be very complex and very detailed. And so it's just absolutely imperative that you have really good test documentation. And for Agile, so that it's SDLC is what they call the software development life cycle. And it goes from, customers come to you and they say, this is what we want, the software we want you to write. And then the developer, and they figure out how to write it, and then you test it, and then you deliver it to the customer. So that's the software development life cycle. And that can be it's kind of the same for a very simple project or a very complex one. In order to keep track of all the moving pieces that happens when you do a project like that, there's something called Agile. And that's a way of looking at how you are going to structure the way that you develop that software. And we'll go into lots of details about what that looks like and why it's a good idea to use that process for developing software.
Okay. And I would like to add to Agile that we will not only know and learn the principles of Agile, but we will train the Agile. On the test design module, we will not cover only some abstract application with test cases, but we will cover some Agile stories, user stories with the test design, using the test design methods with test cases. So, and when your internship will come, I think you will be able not only to demonstrate knowledge, but to demonstrate your skills, how to work in Agile team. So a bit more.
Speaking about the documentation problem, I guess that's a kind of very common problem according to current IT market, because I know tons of guys who works in different tons of companies, and I don't believe most of them having good documentation. So the quality assurance engineers are often crying, sitting there in their, at home or in office and crying and asking anyone, can anyone send me the documentation? But there is no any, so you're gonna have to rely on your experience, I guess.
But actually, we will have a pair of lectures about the documentation, not Agile documentation, but about business users and technical documentation. And we will be able not only to assess the documentation, is it good or bad, and what questions to ask to developers, to project managers, to product managers, and so on. We will be able to write the customer requirements, the technical documentations or some user documentations if needed. So we will not train much how to write the documentation because we are not business analysts again, we are QAs. But if it is needed, you will be able to create the documentation by yourself. I don't know, is it good or bad? Maybe, okay, this is not typically a job of QAs, but
it will be so useful for me. My company doesn't have any documentation.
Yes,
the company I'm currently working in. Thank you in advance.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, and to sum up this part of our lecture, what does it mean for you? It means that you will be a high QA, a QA with a high level, yeah, a competitive QA. And if you get your first job in a company with this high level, it will produce high expectations from you. But don't be afraid of high expectations, because high expectations is a high salary. So if we are talking about that previous salary, 100,000 a year, it is real with this knowledge. And this final part of the lecture, it is for the people who watching us on YouTube right now, or maybe they're watching the recording. Let me remind that this introductory lecture and 2 next lectures about the databases are public. And from database number 3, it will be private. And all the lectures in the course will be private as well. But this lecture is public, so let me remind about the difference between the commercial and the professional education, because the topic of today's lecture is very much close to this vice versa things, professional, commercial education. Only you on the first place. If the education is commercial, you will have 100 students in the groups, or maybe even more. But here we have only 15 students maximum. So the education is almost individual for everybody. Only top mentors, if the education is commercial, typical experience of mentors is 3, maybe 5 years, but all our mentors have 10+ years in industry. If we are talking about me, I have 21 year, and Sandy 28, if I remember right. Only quality, only live lectures. So we don't have recordings. Okay, we have, but after the live lectures, because the recordings only to give our students a possibility to re-watch after the lecture. Only your full confidence. Everybody who is here today passed our entrance exams. They are not very simple, because we have only about 30% students who passed. So everybody here could be very fully confident in the success of the course. In the commercial education, you will not have exams, initial exams. Only direct connection between students and mentors. When the education is commercial, you will have some curator or assistant who will check your homework. In our course, only mentors can check the homeworks. A mentor who gives a lecture checks the homework. Only effective education. We have the textbook, we have 3-level education. We told about it already in the previous class. Only result, we have a lot of practice during the course, because we consider that the result cannot be reached without a practice. Only economy and convenient education. We have the sandbox. and you all will have an access to the sandbox. And the only application that it is better to be installed to your laptop or to your computer is this database tool, but it is just for your convenience. If you don't want to install it, you could use the application from the sandbox. Only working CV, we have an internship after the course, and this internship will be in a real company on a real project. And you will have rights to include this project to your CV as a real job. And your CV will not be like QA intern. Your CV will be QA engineer with this job included. And only like in life, it means that you will have the interview after the course. We already discussed it previously. The interview that will look like the real interview to a job, to train yourself before a real interview to a real job. And this is the information for those who want to join us. This is the information for the international students. And if you have any questions to us, please use this link to write us. The same link will be under the video. We still have places in the current group, and you still can join it if you want to. Please write us if you are interested in joining the group. And it is time for the questions, if you have any, about the lecture. Dear students. Okay, seems that we have no questions. So this lecture is very short. We have only 1 hour and 17 minutes. But from the next one, we will have typically about 2 hours lectures. You will meet with Sandy next time. Thank you everybody for participating today. Thank you very much, Sandy, for joining us today. It was very interesting to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. I look forward to seeing you guys next week and teaching you about databases.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
See you next time.
See you.